objectives, sir?
Indeed. Trying to wear two hats this morning. Dan's objectives are to understand the elements of interpretive reading, to learn how to analyze a narrative and plan for effective interpretation, to learn and apply vocal techniques that will aid in the effectiveness of the reading. 8 to 10 minutes.
Dan is a charter member of this club and has held every club officer, including area governor. He and his wife Diane have been married for 42 years. Dan enjoys freeing stress by getting out in his garden and working with his 11 rose bushes. Today, Dan will be reading a story that will illustrate whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe it can achieve, by Robert Drucker from Rags to Riches. The title of his speech is The Tramp. Please help me welcome Dan Stinson.
I remember years ago when I was kind of looking for another job at the issue. I was reading a book, not this particular edition, but one that's held together with Scotch tape, called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And in his chapter, Desire, he says, whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can achieve. In the first story, he talks about the character Edward C. Barnes. Over 100 years ago, a young man from the Midwest had a dream to become a partner of the greatest inventor on earth, Thomas A. Edison. So strong was his desire to form this partnership that Barnes made up his mind that he would relentlessly pursue his goal of becoming a business associate of the famed inventor until he met success. There would be no retreat. Nothing was going to stop him from reaching his goal. The young man pledged to himself. Barnes could not afford to purchase a train ticket for passenger fare, and he had no special technical skills. In fact, he didn't even know Thomas Edison. Furthermore, he had only meager clothes to wear. But the obstacles could not stop this determined man from visiting Edison's famous laboratory in West Orange, New Jersey, and pursuing his dream. On a fateful day in 1905, and driven by desire, which transcended poverty and a lack of know-how, Barnes rolled into West Orange on a freight train. He then, poorly dressed and looking more like an outcast tramp than a man of achievement, walked into the famous Edison laboratory, told the great inventor that he had come to form a partnership with him. Nearby members of the Edison staff were so amused by the boldness of the poor-looking man, and they laughed at him hysterically. But Edison did not laugh, for what he saw was a determined young man who was prepared to do whatever it would take to help bring new growth to his company. Impressed with Barnes' ambition and internal drive, Edison decided to give the poor man a chance to realize his dream. Not a partner, but rather a floor sweep. So he didn't catapult to his goal immediately. Barnes wisely accepted the Edison offer, not dejected in the slightest by the job his mentor had in mind for him. The new arrival understood that he was given a chance of a lifetime to show Edison what he could do for him. And he knew that accepting the inventor's humbling offer would open the door for him to observe how the brilliant man thought. Barnes understood that Thomas Edison was extending to him a tremendous opportunity to meet his friends and associates as some of the most influential, most powerful people in the world, and starting with a broom in his hand. Edwin C. Barnes did the best work he possibly could for Edison, and he never once backed down from his goal of establishing a partnership with the world's leader of practical technology. Months went by, and to the unobserved, nothing special seemed to happen, but Barnes was learning what made Edison tick, and he was setting the stage to attract opportunities his way. After working for Edison for nearly 2 years, Barnes saw the golden opportunity, and he seized it with full force. Following many years of preparation, the inventor was ready to commercialize the Edison dictaphone machine, a recorder specifically designed to capture the human voice. Edison's machine, later renamed the Interpretive, recorded voice letters on a wax cylinder, and his inventor thought very highly of it. However, when members of Edison's sales force looked over his new machine, most of them doubted that this invention would prove successful commercially, and they expressed little interest in trying to sell it. Barnes, in contrast, recognized that Edison's new machine could help thousands of executives across the country by allowing them to dictate at any time, day or night, for later playback. No longer would the executives need to have at their side a stenographer to record his thoughts. Edison's enthusiastic employee envisioned. Barnes also realized that the dictation machine could help business executives save time, accomplish more, and increase profits as a result. After working out a marketing plan, he made a plan. He had a vision, he made a plan. Barnes approached Edison and urged him to let him sell that dictation machine. Edison, impressed with his employees' desire to sell the new machine and thoroughness of preparation for doing so, readily agreed to his proposition, and within months, Barnes had sold thousands of Edison's dictating machines. He also gained a lucrative contract to market, distribute the recording device across America. Barnes also saved much of his initial earnings as an employee of Edison's West Orange laboratory complex to buy new and quality clothes. And eventually, he built a rather impressive wardrobe, referring to a time just before the Barnes made its big within the Edison organization. Napoleon Hill wrote, "In those days he had the largest and most expensive collections of clothes that I had ever seen or heard of one man owning. His wardrobe consisted of 31 suits, one for each day of the month, and he never wore the same suit 2 days in succession." Now, when Napoleon Hill asked the upcoming salesman why it was that he paid special attention to his attire, Barnes replied, "I do not wear 31 suits of clothing entirely for the impression that they make on other people. I do it mostly for the impression they have on me." So successful was Barnes at selling Edison's dictating machine, he became a multimillionaire at a relatively young age. But most importantly, Barnes became a man who helped thousands of people across the country benefit from Edison's device. And it is probable that the true potential of Edison's machine would not have been realized had it not been for the uncanny insight that Barnes fostered during his working years at the famous laboratory complex in West Orange. There are many factors, both tangible and intangible, that transcended Edwin C. Barnes from a young man with little money and a rather lame portfolio to be one of the most capable and accomplished salespersons Thomas Edison has ever known. However, the remarkable success that Barnes enjoyed can be attributed largely to 12 key habits that he consistently exhibited with full force. They were: 1, he knew what he wanted to accomplish. 2, he used a powerful imagination to circumvent poverty and other difficulties. 3, he was willing to start at the bottom in order to gain knowledge of how to expose. He created it and seized opportunity. 5, he maintained a dogged determination to bring his goal to reality. 6, he worked long hours with concentrated focus for many years to get what he wanted. 7, he talked relatively little and produced big. 8, he was not deterred by ridicule, criticism, setback, or obstacle. 9, he created ideas and made them happen. 10, in alignment with his goals, he found a way to help other people become more successful. 11, he made himself invaluable to his work. 12, he was committed to providing his customers with excellent service. Barnes did not judge his success by how much money he made or how many sales he generated. He considered personal gain sales numbers just as a byproduct. But his true aim to achieve 100% customer satisfaction. As such, Edison partner did not resort to sales gimmicks or trickery. In fact, he would not urge a sale of a dictating machine without first verifying that the potential customer could benefit from it. And once Barnes did sell a dictating machine to a qualified customer, this was just the beginning. He followed up with service, making sure that the buyer was satisfied with the performance of the product and fixing any noted problems without hassle and without excessive delay. So important was his commitment to his customers that Barnes considered his devotion to providing excellent service to be the single biggest influence on his success as a salesperson. The salesman understood that without customer satisfaction, true success cannot be realized, no matter how much fame or fortune is obtained. Perhaps nobody understood the power of persistence more than Edwin C. Barnes. Not only was the salesman persistent in his own pursuit, he inspired others to keep paving ahead as well. One such person was Napoleon Hill. In The Law of Success, the author gave Barnes credit for keeping him on track when temptations to give up his chosen pursuit were abound. Hill related, Mr. Barnes became interested in my chosen work at the beginning, and had it not been for his unwavering faith in the soundness of the philosophy behind the law of success, I would have yielded to the persuasions of others and sought the way of least resistance. Barnes was arguably the most successful salesperson ever employed by Thomas Edison, and they remained close associates until the death of the famed inventor in 1931. During the association with Edison, Barnes became fabulously wealthy, but his greatest sense of accomplishment came from his knowledge that he helped thousands of people live happier and more productive lives. In 1951, nearly 46 years after, he rolled up in Orange County in a freight train and informed Edison of his intent with a business partner, and Edwin C. Barnes retired from the business life. Unfortunately, shortly after that, in 1952, he passed away. But he's gone as a generous man, but his story provides us with the most powerful formula for attaining success, happiness, which anyone can implement. 1, know what you want to accomplish. 2, use the power of imagination to circumvent difficulties. 3, be willing to start at the bottom in order to gain out and exposure. 4, create and seize opportunity. 5, maintain a dogged determination to bring your goals to reality. 6, be willing to work long hours with concentrated focus for many years to get what you want. In other words, be willing to do what it takes for as long as it takes. Talk relatively little and produce big. 8, don't be deterred by ridicule, criticism, setbacks, or obstacles. 9, create ideas and make them happen. 10, in alignment with your goals, find a way to help other people become more successful. 11, make yourself invaluable in your work. 12, be committed to providing your customers or the people that you serve with excellent service. Madam Christmas.